welcome back, or welcome to the WHL Show. My name is Gabriel Newman, and I am your host. I am so excited to be bringing this back. If you don't know, I hosted this show about 2 years ago before I ended up taking a break for a couple seasons, and so I'm just really excited to be bringing this back and really excited to bring the knowledge that I accrued through my experience last time and putting it into here. You can probably hear my microphone wasn't working, so we're going with my camera's mic, which the camera's great, but the mic may not be, so I apologize for any audio issues. I am currently trying to get my old mic that I had. I'm trying to get that figured out so I can get, high quality audio and everything for you guys. Don't worry, things are, we're just starting out. Things are going to be in the trial and error phase for a little bit before things start going a little bit more smoothly. Apologies for any background noises. I live right next to a train station, and I also have cats, which you might see wandering around if you're watching this. And if you're listening to this, you might hear some trains or some cats. I will do my best to edit those out, but we'll see how that goes. Cats are unpredictable, as are trains. So yeah, a little bit about me. My name is Gabriel. I've been writing for Area 51 Sports Network for, I want to say, about a little over 2 years. I think I started, it was July of 2022, I think is when I want to say I started. I hosted this show for roughly a season and it was 2022 to 2023. Interviewed a lot of players, had a lot of really cool coverage, and then I had just got a lot of really great experience, and I really loved it. And a lot of life, personal things happened, and so I wasn't able to continue it for the next season and the season after, but I'm really excited to be back. I'm finally settled in my own apartment, and everything is, it's super great, and I'm able to have that flexibility and that time again to film and record and all that fun stuff and do all the work. The purpose of this show is to give you guys, WHL fans, Western Hockey League fans, the opportunity to have weekly news and updates in the form of video and audio content, as well as player features, getting to know your favorite players more personally on and off the ice, all that fun stuff. So this week we have a fantastic player from the Everett Silvertips join me, and so you will be able to watch his interview a little bit later on. So stay tuned for that. Andrew Petruk, he is an amazing forward with the Everett Silvertips. I am a college student. I'm in my sophomore year. I am studying digital audiences, which is basically a fancy way of just saying digital marketing, and have learned a lot so far, and I'm just really excited to use that knowledge for this, and also just really excited to learn a lot from this experience and apply that to my career. My dream career is working in sports media, specific hockey, and of course, especially with the WHL team. That's the dream, that's the goal, but for now, I'm living the dream, as it were, through this. And it's just really freaking awesome, and I'm really excited because I had a pretty good reception with it last time, and it was really awesome. But now that I have a very specific brand, I have a very specific idea and structure that I'm following, and it's way more in my hands than it was before. It means that there's both more freedom and also more responsibility. So it's very on me, but that's also very exciting because I get to really take creative control and have that creative freedom to do what I need to for the show. As I mentioned earlier, I'm working on getting my equipment set up, so right now I'm just chilling on my floor in my living room. If you're watching this, you can see my cat walking around, and I'm clearly on the floor. I just moved into my new apartment just a couple months ago, and I'm still working on getting furniture. Figured that this is the easiest setup for now, but eventually you will see a more professional setup that will be, integrated into this as I acquire those things needed for it. So that'll be fun. But yes, long-winded intro aside, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in today, whether you're listening or you're watching. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to provide content for you and to give these kids, these players, a platform to tell their stories on and off the ice, and just getting to know the team, staying up to date with news and everything that's going on there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. This week I have for you just a snapshot view of rankings, standings, player stats, etc. And next week we're going to go more into detail about those rankings and stats, but also sorry for the kitty, but also going into the different league news, trades, rumors, etc. This week is basically just an intro of what the show is going to look like and the setup for the show and everything. So next week we're going to really dive into the fun stuff. Not that this isn't fun, but we're going to go into more detail next week for sure. Last year, the way that I broke down rankings was I would do division, conference, and then overall. So that's what we're going to do again this year. I figured it worked, and we're going to do our top 3. And then let me know if you guys want to know the full rankings. You obviously, of course, can go to the WHL site to access this at any point if you want. So just let me know if this works and if you want more information or if you want even just the top of each division, conference, overall, etc. Let me know what works. Of course, trial and error, as I mentioned, we're still figuring it out. First, we're going to start with the East Division. We have the top of that is going to be the Saskatoon Blades. They have played 14 games and won 10 of them. 3 were losses, and 1 was an overtime loss. They have 21 points so far. In second are the Swift Current Broncos. They've played 16 games, won 10, and lost 6. They have 20 points in the standings so far. In third place, we have the Brandon Wheat Kings. They have played 14 games, won 8, lost 4, and then that means that they have 2 losses in overtime or shootouts. They have 18 points in the standings thus far. Now to the Central Division, we have in first place are the Medicine Hat Tigers. They have played 16 games so far. They have won 9 of them and 7 losses, which means that they have 18 points so far in the standings. Second and third place are actually tied between the Lethbridge Hurricanes and the Edmonton Oil Kings. They both have played 14 games, won 8 and lost 5, and had 1 game go to overtime or shootouts. And they have 17 points in the standings thus far. In the BC Division, we see the Prince George Cougars on top with 17 games played, 9 wins, and 4 losses. They are currently sitting at the top with 22 points total. The Vancouver Giants are in second with 15 games played, 9 wins, 4 losses, and 2 shootout overtime losses, with 20 points in the standings thus far. In third place, we see the Victoria Royals, and they have 14 games played, 8 wins, 4 losses, 2 overtime shootout losses, and they have 18 points played. 18 points in the rankings. Then in the US Division, which is where I'm located, it's more close to home, I'd say. In first place, we have the Everett Silvertips. They have 15 games played with 13 wins and only 2 losses. They're really crushing it so far. They have a whopping 26 points in the standings so far, which is just incredible. The Spokane Chiefs, right behind them, they have 17 games played with 10 wins and 7 losses and have 20 points. And then third place are the Tri-City Americans with 13 games played, 9 wins, 3 losses, and 1 shootout overtime loss. That means that they have 19 points in the standings thus far. So that does it for our division standings, our top 3 from each division. Now we're going to go through top 3 for each conference. And that, my friends, is going to see the Eastern Conference. First is the Saskatoon Blades with 21 points. The second is the Medicine Hat Tigers with 18 points. And then the third are the Swift Current Broncos with 20 points. This is one of those moments where I'm like, I'm not exactly sure how why the rankings fall the way they do. See, the Broncos have 20 points, and the Medicine Hat Tigers, who are above them, have 18 points. The Broncos' winning percentage is higher. They've won roughly 63% of their games, and they have 10 wins and 16 games played, while the Medicine Hat Tigers, who again are ahead of them, have a roughly 56% win percentage and have won 9 games played of their 16. I'm not entirely sure why they are ranked above the Broncos, but that's what the Dub site says, so we're gonna go with that. And if one of you guys knows why or how that works, please feel free to educate me. I would love to know. That would be fantastic. Now to the Western Conference. This one we have a little bit more of a straightforward lineup, although we do have a tie for third place. Our first place is, of course, the Everett Silvertips. They have 26 points. Second place are the Prince George Cougars with 22 points. And then the third place tied are the Chiefs, the Vancouver Chiefs, the Spokane Chiefs and the Vancouver Giants. They both have 20 points. The Chiefs have a roughly 59% winning percentage, while the Giants have a roughly 67% winning percentage. and but the Chiefs have won more games. They've won 10, while the Giants have won 9. Chiefs have also played 17 games, while the Giants have only played 15. Again, one of those things where the numbers work out really oddly, but for simplicity's sake, I guess, we'll just say that they are tied. Now, of course, we have our top 3 in the overall league instead of just those specific breakdowns. Our first team is, of course, the Everett Silvertips. If you guys didn't catch on to how well they're doing already, the Prince George Cougars are right behind them, and then right behind them are the Saskatoon Blades. So that does it for our standings. Now we have our league leaders, which is always one of my favorites to go over. It's a really fun way to look at who is crushing it in the league. When you're paying attention to one team, it's really easy to know exactly who on your team is doing absolutely amazing, right? Obviously. But if you're wanting to know who's also doing well overall in the league, this is your place to find out. So for this week, for league leaders, we have a 3-way tie for second place for points, which I think is really cool. A lot of high-producing players this year. So in first place, we have Gavin McKenna of the Medicine Hat Tigers. So there are 3 behind McKenna. It's Cameron Schmidt from Vancouver Giants, Shea Van Olm from Spokane Chiefs, and Brady Burney from the Swift Current Broncos. Third place, or technically 5th if you're thinking about it in terms of how many people there are, but third place goes to Burney's teammate, Luke Mistelbacher. He has 25 points in the league so far. Our goals, because obviously goals and assists are points, the top 3 are very similar, pretty much always super similar, but they do switch up a little bit. So instead of McKenna being in first, we have Cameron Schmidt from the Vancouver Giants. So he's in first with goals. He has 17. Shea Van Olm of the Spokane Chiefs is in second with 14 goals, and then Brady Burney, Carter Bear, okay, again, a 3-way tie, so kind of spoiled it there for you, but 3-way tie. Brady Burney from the Swift Current Broncos, he has 13, and then the other 2 who have 13 are Carter Bear from the Everett Silvertips and Tyler McKenzie from the Everett Silvertips again. So a lot of teammates, a lot of high-scoring teams. Assists is where we see McKenna again. McKenna has 20 assists in the league so far. We have a 2-way tie for third place, so that is going to be Burke the Catton of the Spokane Chiefs. He has 17 assists this year so far. And then Boria Vallis of the Prince George Cougars. Penalty minutes, Aiden Foster of the Prince George Cougars leads the league with 45. Plus minus, Tyler McKenzie of the Everett Silvertips leads the league with plus 21. And our goalies, which are, of course, as a goalie, are my favorite to look at, just because, goalie numbers, fun. Jesse Stanch of the Everett Silvertips leads the league in goals against average. He has a 1.74. And then Ethan Askett of the Brandon Wheat Kings has a 2.30 in second place. And then in third place of the Wenatchee Wild is Daniel Hauser with a 2.51. Now for our save percentage, again, we see Jesse Stanch in first place. He has a .932 save percentage, which is fantastic, of course. And then second and third are 2 Brandon Wheat Kings. Our second place is Carson Bjarnason. He has a .924 save percentage. And then, of course, third place is going to be our Ethan Eskett, who has a .922 save percentage. Jesse Stanch also leads the league in goalie wins with 10. Second place is Joshua Ravensbergen with 9. And now we get to the point where we talk about our weekly preview. So this is one of those where I'll go more into detail about the actual team matchups in future episodes, but for this one we're just going to say who's playing, and then we'll do a recap of it next week. Today, actually, Monday, November 4th, we have a matchup between Red Deer and Calgary. On Tuesday, tomorrow, we have a handful of games. We have the Prince Albert Raiders versus the Regina Pats, the Saskatoon Blades against the Prince George Cougars, the Kelowna Rockets against the Spokane Chiefs, Kamloops Blazers against the Victoria Royals. Now on Wednesday, we have a little bit fewer games. It'll be the Medicine Hat Tigers against the Lethbridge Hurricanes and the Kamloops Blazers against the Victoria Royals. We don't have any games on Thursday, but of course Friday is going to be a very busy day for the league. It'll be Lethbridge versus the Moose Jaw Warriors, Brandon Wheat Kings against Regina, Edmonton Oil Kings against Medicine Hat, Spokane against Kamloops, Red Deer against the Wenatchee Wild, Saskatoon against Kelowna, Calgary against the Seattle Thunderbirds, and the Everett Silvertips against the Tri-City Americans. Saturday, we again, of course, have a very busy day. It'll be Prince Albert versus Brandon, Edmonton versus Swift Current, Saskatoon versus Kamloops, Medicine Hat versus Moose Jaw, Vancouver versus Prince George, Portland versus Wenatchee, Spokane versus Kelowna, Victoria versus Seattle, Red Deer versus Tri-City, and then Calgary versus Everett. And then last but not least, we only have 2 games on Sunday, and that'll be Lethbridge versus Regina, and then Vancouver versus Prince George. So we have a lot of really fun games ahead. We'll have a lot of opportunities for more numbers being adjusted, more goals being scored, more goals being saved, all that fun stuff. That covers our little snapshot of a weekly recap. Next week, as I mentioned before, we're going to go more in detail with game recaps. We'll highlight one game and talk about that. We'll also talk about more league leaders and the specifics there, and also just general league news and goings on around the league. I'm really excited to introduce you guys to our very first guest on this reinstallment of the WHL show, Andrew Petruk of the Everett Silvertips. He is a gem to talk to, and I'm really excited for you guys to get to know him a little bit more. He is currently in his third season with the Everett Silvertips. He has so far 12 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist for a total of 2 points, and is projected to have a 65-game season with 5 points and 5 assists with 10 points total. However, of course, these numbers are just the start, so that may change. He is known for his physicality on the ice and is very much a gritty player and is really fun to watch. He's getting into a lot of fights all the time, which is really entertaining, and I know fans love him for that. And so we chatted a little bit about that and a little bit about what his role with the Silvertips is and how he's gelling with the team and how he likes the organization so far. I did my thank you for joining me with him before I started recording, so in the audio in the interview you will hear me kind of just jump in with the questions. So this is my thank you, Andrew, for sitting down with me and chatting with me. It was just amazing, and I'm excited for you guys to watch. So without further ado, I will stop talking and let my past self take it away with Andrew Petruk. So you're of course with the Silvertips this year, and you're doing great, honestly, so far. But like, what is, from your perspective, the team's goals and focuses going into the 2024-2025 season?
Yeah, I think the goal is always like we want to win, like creating a winning culture, of course, just creating a tight locker room, tight knit group of guys, and it's just creating that winning culture and trying to get better and better each day and pushing each other.
How do you apply that to your own goals? Like, what are you focusing on this year?
Focusing on like what we need now and in the moment from game to game, just putting it all out there and bringing what the team needs you to do, playing your role and stuff. You got to know what your role is and how you need to play each night.
What specifically is, I'm sure Silvertips fans could answer this for me, but what specifically is your role on the Silvertips?
Yeah, it's more just like forecheck, hard, grind. I mean, lay the body, just play a simple, hard, fast kind of a north game, and bring the energy out there, and yeah, that's about it.
You're not a rookie anymore in the Dubs, so comparing this season to your last season, I know it's only been a couple months, but looking back at your rookie yourself as a rookie, what advice would you give your past self?
Just stick with it. Keep putting in the work. You're gonna go through ups and downs, but you got to know there's always more work to be put in, and just battle through all the adversity and just keep being yourself and having fun playing your game.
What actually got you into hockey? How old were you when you started playing?
I think I probably started skating at 3 and then started playing hockey at 5, I'd say.
Yeah.
And I don't remember probably my parents put me in it and kind of just stuck. Loved it. And I feel like once you start playing hockey, it's hard to stop. So
totally get that. Did you play any other sports growing up, or was it only hockey?
I played a bit of football and baseball, but hockey kind of took priority, so all those kind of got pushed away.
Was there a specific reason why hockey was your favorite, or the one that got prioritized?
I think it's what I started with and what took up the most time and obviously what I enjoyed the most, I bet. Kind of just stuck with it. Always loved the sport and watching it and the family, like the teammates you make and stuff. It's a great sport.
Now, looking more at like the not as quote unquote serious questions.
Yeah.
Do the Tips have individual goal songs this year? I don't know if they do.
No, I don't think so.
If you had one, what would yours be?
Oh boy. Probably like a 50 Cent song, I'd
Yeah.
say. Yeah, any of those. Those are pretty good songs for like I feel like goals and stuff.
When it
Yeah.
comes to locker room music, who's the one with the aux usually?
This year Terrence Smith's been taking the aux the majority of the time for
Do you
game
like his
days at
music?
least. Yeah, he's got some good music. I mean, all the boys giving input and stuff,
Hmm.
and like the odd day somebody else will take it, but yeah, usually Terrence got it. He
Is
does a good
there
job too.
Nice. Is there
Yeah,
somebody on the Tips that you wouldn't trust with the aux? Like you would be like, no, don't give it to him.
Pierce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What kind of
Rylan
stuff does he listen
Pierce.
to?
Pardon?
Sorry, what kind of stuff does he listen to?
Oh, I don't know. I just wouldn't trust his music. I don't know.
That's
I
fair,
don't
just
know
because
what
of
he
the
listens to, but I just guess Pierce
just
probably.
the just the vibe that he gives off.
Yeah.
That's funny. Looking at your team, right, all the different players. Who is a player who you'd least want to play against? Like you would not want them to be on the opposing team.
Oh boy.
Hmm.
Probably all of them. We got a lot of good players,
You do, yeah.
a lot of talented players that work hard and get to the gritty areas. And yeah, I mean, we obviously play each other in practices and stuff, but
Yeah, of course.
I'd say any one of them. Like they're all really good players. So
Yeah. Who
yeah.
do you think, on the same sort of topic there, who do you think is an underrated teammate that maybe fans aren't paying that much attention to this year, but should be?
Um, I don't know. I'd say like a lot of our depth guys, like we have a really deep team this year, and I'd say like any one of us, no matter if you're on the first or fourth or getting scratched, like we have a lot of talent on our team this year, a lot of grit, and I'd put anybody's name in that spot. I'd say, yeah.
I could totally understand if that's the same answer for this one, but do you have somebody on the
Yeah.
team who you're closest to?
I mean, I feel like this year we got a really like tight knit group. We're getting like super close to each other. Spending a lot of time together. Obviously, I think the long road trip at the start of the year helped that
Hmm.
out too. But I'd say like because like from back home, Kane Hamill, like I obviously see him every day in the summer too. So
Hmm.
we're pretty close.
That road trip that you mentioned, was there any team that you were like really looking forward to playing against? And then, um,
Uh, Not really. Just taking it one game at a time, going place to place, and just focusing on that game and that day. It's a long road trip, so you're trying to get it. By the end of it, you're getting a little tired. You've been in a hotel for a long time, and
mhm.
yeah, everybody's getting a little feisty. But I think any of those teams was exciting to play. You only get to play them once a year, so
Right.
lots of energy there.
The I-5 rivalry is always very fun, with the
Yeah.
Winterhawks and the Thunderbirds. But is there, in any of the U.S. division or any teams, is there a specific team that you just like really love playing against?
I love playing in Spokane for some reason. I
Yeah,
don't know what it is, but I've always liked playing there. Obviously, Seattle, it's a rivalry. Those games get pretty rowdy,
yeah.
especially in each other's barns. Doesn't matter which one. We got great fans. They got pretty good fans too. So those are always fun games, and yeah, those two teams probably are my favorite to play.
I went to Spokane's rink for the first time last season. I was like, why didn't I go here more often? Like more often?
Yeah,
Like it's
no, it's
actually
a
really
pretty
fun.
cool spot.
It's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, so kind of going back to the childhood lens, did you have a favorite NHL team growing up?
Always Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah, Washington Capitals.
Is there a particular reason why? Of
When I was younger, I was obsessed with Ovechkin, and like
course.
my whole room is Washington themed. I don't know. I kind of just always grew up liking Ovechkin for some
Hmm.
reason. So then the Capitals became my favorite team from when I was young.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my cat is saying hello. If you see like an orange tail going back and forth, that's just Taika saying hi.
Oh, cute.
Yes, sorry. You mentioned Ovechkin. Is there any player that you maybe model your game after or try to like stylize your game after?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I just the gritty, like Matt, like Brady Chuck or
Hmm.
something, or like just the gritty. But obviously, he's a really skilled player. But I'd say Brady Chuck or something like that.
Solid.
Yeah,
The going to like your hockey nickname, it's Petro. Do you have any other hockey nicknames or nicknames in general that the guys call you?
yeah. Petro or like Truck. A few guys call me Truck. Petsy was one. When I was younger, some of them called me Andy. But yeah,
Mm.
those are the main few nicknames I'd say.
I love the. I think we talked about it briefly one time. It was like the whole Petro Boomin thing. Like,
Yeah.
is that a common theme for you?
Yeah, that started like right when I got into Everett my first year. I think Zellweger gave me that nickname when we were working out one day.
Yeah,
So
and
that's
it just
pretty
stuck.
cool too. Yeah.
50 Cent, like any 50 Cent song for your goal song. Is there a specific like what? Who's your favorite like music artist? Like if you had to
Uh,
listen to one artist for the rest of your life, who would that be?
yeah, that's hard for me because I'm like a guy that's like music. It's got to fit the like I like all music.
Oh,
It's just got to
totally.
fit like the vibe. But like I don't know. I've been into like if it depends where I am too. Like right now, I've been listening to Ty Myers a lot. But like if I'm back home, could be
Hmm.
like YG or Pressa. Nobody probably knows, but like that's like from where I'm from. That's what we listen to.
What genre is that? Is that like country or rap?
It's like rap. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
If you weren't playing hockey, would you have a specific? And that's not a sport because they'll always give me like I'll play golf. So that's
Oh
not a
yeah.
sport. Is there a specific like profession or job that you would want to pursue?
I'm not too sure. Yeah, I mean maybe like firefighter or something that always has caught my eye, but I've never really thought of anything else. Probably should like be thinking about it, but
I mean,
I
hey, it's
just
good that you're
yeah
super focused on hockey. That's great.
yeah I just kind of taking it a day at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to go about it. If you just like this is one of my favorite questions to ask. If you were stranded on a desert island and you had to pick one teammate to help you survive, who would you pick?
Oh, a teammate to survive on an island?
Yes.
Probably Caden Hamill.
Yeah. Why is
Yeah,
that?
I feel like I could figure something out with him. We've had
Yeah.
a like yeah, we've had a few adventures, so I'm sure we could figure something out.
Is he just resourceful or just smart?
Yeah,
That kind
I
of.
feel like yeah, we'll figure yeah. We're
Ah,
just close, so I don't know.
totally. Is there somebody you would like absolutely not pick, like you know would get you killed?
Probably Terrence Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Strong
know why.
duo.
I just yeah, Terrence Smith.
That's funny. I'm interviewing him next, actually, so I'll tell him you said that. Last but not least, what is a message for Silvertips fans that you have this year?
Oh, just thank you so much. You guys are like the best fans in the WHL, so just keep bringing the energy every night. It helps us all, and yeah, just thank you and keep coming out.
Thank you so much, Ben.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really hope you enjoyed Andrew's interview. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of, catch up around the league. I am, again, so excited to bring this show back. I think it is something that has a lot of potential and it's going to be a lot of fun going forward. If you guys have any suggestions or requests of players you want to see on the show, don't hesitate to reach out and make your voice heard. I have a list of players that I'm requesting, but it is always flexible. One thing that we are doing that we didn't do last time is we have a Patreon. So if you would like to see the full uncut and unedited, like just the full recording of each player interview, also earlier, they post 30 minutes earlier before the episode actually launches. Then head over to our Patreon. It is patreon.com/the WHL Show. It's all one word. There you can access exclusive content, early access to said content. You also have a lot more chances to have those specific requests made. You have the chance to ask players questions yourselves, to potentially interact with players, etc. All the details are listed on Patreon. And also you do have the opportunity to buy each individual, like if you really wanted, like Andrew's for instance, if you really wanted Petro's interview uncut but you didn't want to subscribe to the Patreon, that's totally fine. You have the chance to buy that. I think it's only $3.50. It's super cheap. So you have the chance to buy that as well, each individual piece. will be available to buy individually, or you can just subscribe and get it all for only $3. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and I really look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much.